Hello, welcome back to my channel, and it's been a while since I did a recoiling, rebuilding, re-wicking video, and I've been wanting to do one for the Hurricane version 2, something that I've come to really like. You can check my Hurricane version 2 clone review in the description box. And after getting the clone, I actually went out and got the authentic, barely used, like about a week used, still in perfect condition, and I have been loving it ever since. So there are three different builds that you can logically do for the Hurricane version 2. You can do a mouth to lung build, you can do a restricted lung build, and you can do a wide open cloud chasing build, because it does come with three different airflow inserts, and it comes with the PC tank as well. But today I'm not going to do a mouth to lung build, because I just don't. I think I'm past the mount to lung thing. I don't like strict mount to lung. So I'm going to do two builds. This is going to be number one. It's going to be a restricted lung build using Clapton wire. Special tiny Clapton wires you'll see in the close-ups. And hopefully in the future I will do another review on doing a proper cloud chasing build with the PC polycarbonate tank. Let's do it. Alright, so today we're going to do a build tutorial for the Hurricane version 2. I love doing these build tutorials, and this is going to be a sort of an experimental build, right? So these are the tools that you need, and why I say experimental is because I'm going to use this Kanthal A1 wire, and this right here is by Thunderhead Creations. And what's special about this is that the core is 28 gauge Kanthal A1. So I've got this, and I've been using this to reimagine some of the smaller build decks, the tanks with the smaller build decks that I have, because previously the Clapton that I had was 26 gauge at the core. I could not find anything smaller than that. So this 28 gauge wire is really very good, in fact, in my testing with the Hurricane version 2. So if you cannot find the Thunderhead Creation Kanthal A1 wire, you can just use 26 gauge wire. But it will be different, right? This build I'm going to show you here, it should read about 1.4 ohms, but because it's Clapton wire, it's going to give you a fair good amount of vapor. It's not going to be a cloud chucking build. I'm going to use the 2mm airflow, and we are going to go for a relaxed, flavorful vape. So the Hurricane version 2 with the 2mm airflow, as you can see here, this is the authentic. Now if you don't have the authentic Hurricane version 2, check the link in the description box below, or use the link that you see right here, and that will bring you to some of the best clones that I've discovered, that I've used on my website, and the Hurricane version 2 is one of them, but there's so many other really good clones out there. Next, you need some wicking material. I'm going to be using the native Wicks Platinum Blend, flathead screwdrivers, a 2.5mm coiling jig. I got the one by Coil Master, some scissors, and last but not least, some patience. Oh yeah, and of course, wire cutters. Why do I keep forgetting stuff? So we're going to take the Clapton wire out, and we only need about this much. Next, around the 2.5mm coiling jig, we're going to do about 6 wraps. And I'm going to remove about 2 wraps in here until we have just 6 wraps. So how many do we have? I'm going to count the wraps on this side, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put in another wrap. There you go. So you want your leads to come out like this. Now, in my previous, much older version of the Hurricane Junior review, I actually did my build like this, right? I put the coil in like this. Now, that is not the best way to do it. A better way to do it is to actually put it like this. Just going to put my coil in here. Wrap those leads around and screw down and clamp those Clapton leads tight. I do believe that you can use thicker gauge core Clapton wires in here, 26 gauge for example, and that will do just nice. But I think with a 26 gauge Clapton core wire in here, you would need to go in a more wide open, the larger diameter airflow insert. Just going to pull my coils up. Then just adjust the coil to where you want it to be, right? So I generally like it around this, the distance around this much from the airflow if it's not a Clapton coil, but we do need a little bit more airflow for the Clapton coil, so I'm going to pull it a little bit higher. So make sure that it does not exceed the post. Just like that. Then cut off your leads. And let's check the resistance. 1.4 ohms. And we're going to use about 20 watts, maybe even 22 watts, because this is a Clapton wire. So it does take a little bit more wattage than your regular 28 gauge wire does. Next, using a screwdriver, you can just strum the coil. And if you have a ceramic tweezer, which is another thing I forgot to mention, you can just squeeze the coil a little bit and just pulse it. Strum the coil. Until you get a nice glow just like that, that starts right from the middle. So of course I'm using something that you may not be able to find easily, the Thunderhead Creations Kanthal A1 wire, and you may be using something else. Doesn't really matter, you know, but now when it comes to wicking, it's going to be more or less the same regardless of what type of wire that you're using. So you need about this much of organic cotton. Of course, I'm using the native Wicks Platinum blend, which is actually a recommendation that I got from so many people on my channel that I actually had to go and get myself one. Now, if you are not decided yet on what type of cotton you want to use, Muji, Kogen, Do, etc., etc., I've done a complete series on that, on which cotton gives you the best flavor. You can go to wickingwars.com to actually find out more. And I do want to stuff as much cotton as I can into this little coil right here, because I found that with Clapton wire, at least for me, I do need to stuff the cotton in. Otherwise, I just get lots and lots of spit back. Alright, so about equal lengths on both sides. Next comes base. Just put the base in. Pull the cotton up. And push your base in, just like that. We're going to cut the cotton like about this much. You're just going to fluff the cotton up a little bit. And cut off all the loose fluffy parts of it. Alright, now it comes time to stuff the cotton in, right? So what I like to do is just start from the middle right here. I hope you can see. Start from the middle right here. Just grab a hold of it, push it in. And that's pretty much how I do it all the time with the Hurricane version 2, with the previous version of the Hurricane as well. Now I'm going to do for the other side, again from the middle, push it in. So you're sort of like folding the cotton on both sides, one over the other. And here's how it looks like. So I'm going to be using the VIP Arcadia juice. This one is holier than thou, sweet apple, kiwi, and black grapes. Now this juice line has got a really good throat hit to it, so it's definitely not for cloud chasers. It's going to be for your mouth to lungers, but this one is a 6 mg nicotine level, so obviously you'd want to get a 12 mg if you're a mouth to lunger, but for me I like a restricted lung hit. And these guys sent me their samples quite some time back. I didn't have time to feature their juice, so do check them out. VIP Arcadia. The balls have this childproofing lock, so just stick it out like this. Smells good. And next, put this piece back on, right? And you do want to hold the base. Some people have issues with the O-ring, especially the clones, but the authentic it works fine. But I've made it a habit just to hold the base when I screwed this on. And put on the rest of the tank. Close up the juice flow controls. Open the top cap. And continue to fill up your Hurricane version 2 tank. Alright, I think I filled up a bit too much in there. Should be no problem since I have the juice flow control closed off. Just put the cap back on. Airflow completely open there, but I like to use it like halfway open, just like this. Sweet, sweet spot. That's the way. I like it. Very nice bill. Very nice bill. So yeah, if you don't have the same Clapton, tiny Clapton wire that I have, you can use a 26 gauge wire and do I think about 7 wraps around a 2.5 millimeter bit, and that should bring you to about 1.2 ohms. I think it'll be a good build to do. Or you can use 24 gauge, do maybe 5 wraps. 24 gauge 5 wraps should be about 0.5 ohm. Still very good for that little medium insert, 2 millimeter insert in my opinion, right? Of course, I can't show you every single bill. So this is the one that I am interested in right now, and the flavor is good. 22 watts using my Yeehee chip right here, and this is a Nataraki stab wood mod. Gorgeous mod. I got this used as well, which is how I do stuff mostly nowadays, right? I just buy used mods because when I get a used stab wood mod, and if a year down the road I decide to sell it, I actually can sell it for about the same price that I bought it. That's a good thing with stab wood mods. The value is there. It doesn't get scratched. I mean, if you drop it, then you can damage it, but it doesn't get scratched. And if there are tiny scratches, you can just use high grit sandpaper, sand it out. You can repolish your stab wood mod, and it looks brand new. So previously, before this, if I had 5 wraps, not 6. So what we did was 6 wraps. My mistake. But the previous one, I had 1.4 ohms, but it vapes just as good, right? So 5 wraps on the other side of the leads, right? So it's actually, technically, it's like what I did in the close-ups is 6 wraps on one side, on the other side you have your lead, so it's about 6.5 wraps. So you can try 6.5 wraps, you can try 5.5 wraps, and 22.9 watts. Nice, no dry hits at all, and that tiny Clapton wire by Thunderhead Creations really makes a lot of difference. But again, you can get a really good vape even if you use standard round wire. I love the Hurricane version 2. it's a bit of a pain in the ass to take it out and clean it because you have O-rings. There's too many O-rings in this freaking thing. But other than that, the vape is really, really good. You have a lot of options to choose for your deck. Airflow only on one side, but that's fine. Airflow is smooth. Smooth airflow. So I'm really, really loving this. I was thinking maybe I should do a comparison video of the Hurricane version 2 versus, let's say, the K-Fun version 5. May not make sense, but who knows? I may decide to do that comparison. You'll have to subscribe to my channel to stay tuned, and hopefully I do it soon. Wokie dokie, no more smoky.